What's going on, family? We are back. Happy 2026. Happy New Year to everybody. And we are back trying to get into some more Sofia ISELLA. We are trying to catch up on the songs that we've missed, friends. We were just looking at how she's going on tour. I think there's still some dates in the UK that are some of the friends are going to be able to go and see her. And then I think that she's going on another tour where it seems like she's going to probably be on like bigger arenas. So shout out to her. And I'm gonna get my chance one day to see her, friends. I shouldn't have chickened out the last time she came around, but I feel like I'm gonna have my moment. I'm gonna have my moment, and I will get there. I will get there. My merch did come in now. I totally got my my dog shirt. Ooh, I'm so excited, but it's hoodie season. Okay, I'm talking too much now. Okay, we're back. Above the neck. Let's get into it. Let's not waste no more time. Let's just get into the new song. This has been out for like a month now, right? Month? I know I just said I wasn't wasting more time. December 3rd. Okay, so yeah, it's been out for like a month now. Let's do it.
Must be given up at the desk. Everything but the look that sells. You're 12 looking 20, you're 20 looking 12, and you're tight and you're baby and you're sexy about it.
That 12 and you're 20 and you're 20 looking 12 line, it just makes me think, honestly, I was just having this kind of discussion with somebody over the idea of like Stranger Things, right? Where it's kind of weird that they're all like of a certain age playing like this younger generation, but as far as millennials are concerned, we grew up watching like 24, 25-year-olds play 16 and 17-year-olds in like a whole bunch of TV shows. And we like never thought anything about it. You know what I mean? So like that whole like 12 looking 20, like people who are younger look older and then the older people are trying to look younger. This is almost like a tale as old as time, especially like in the idea of entertainment and like Hollywood and shit like that. You know, again, especially when it comes to women. Especially when it comes to women.
Look that sells, you're 12 looking 20, you're 20 looking 12, and you're tight and you're baby and you're sexy about it, and you're subtle and doe-edged in a toddler's outfit, and your eyes are...
That's the thing it's also like so weird is like why do so many people like require like this idea of like the innocent, like you're subtle about it, you're doe-eyed, you're in a toddler's outfit. Like that's like... We just teeter on this line of like almost like what is like pedophilia. You know what I mean? Like we, as society, you know what I'm saying?
And you're subtle and doe-eyed in a toddler's outfit, and her eyes are crossed and big and bright and bug, and she withers around like a salty slug. There's a beautiful balance to realize and reach when the women act like both the child and the sex beast.
She always just lines it out like, so, you know, when the women act like both a child and a sex beast, we want you to act like this young thing, but also be like uber sexual about it. You know what I mean? It's this weird fucking Epstein Island-y thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm trying to not say too much about that kind of shit, but it's all too nasty. You know, it's all just too nasty.
Realize and reach when the women act like both the child and a sex beast, and they're titillated by that delicate line between sex, song, and nursery rhyme. Over time, you'll know.
Tying all that stuff together with like the almost like the adultness to like the childhood like type things, right? You know, with the what she says something about sex with the nursery rhyme, again tying like adult like things with like childlike things and mixing them together. Like she's been doing like those kinds of like comparisons and metaphors like throughout this entire like verse here.
Over time, you'll know remember normalcy, because normalcy is what you see repeatedly, so there will be nothing to miss.
The normalcy is what you see repeatedly. Like I said, this is nothing new that we haven't been seeing this for years already, right? I was just talking about the millennial generations and the TV shows that were on when we were like teenagers, right? Where it's like we watched adult people play teenagers instead of just teenagers playing teenagers. You know what I mean? Like older people were playing younger people and younger people were trying to always play older people. You know, that 70s show, bro. That 70s fucking show where, what's her damn name? The girl who's married to Mila Kunis, right? Mila Kunis. She was like, what, like 13 or 14 when she first came on that show? That blows my fucking mind every time I think about that now. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother conversation about just one show. That was one of like the most popular and biggest shows, but nobody ever really said anything about that. Nobody said, oh, like, look at this 13-year-old girl with a bunch of these dudes who are like 20. It's, again, this is just normalcy because we're so used to seeing it in entertainment.
You see repeatedly, so there will be nothing to miss. It must be so relieving for you to hear this. Slightly alter your emotional situation if it transform into masturbation motivation, something that's more open to interpretation. All of a sudden, your desire to understand had popped out of your ass. You're a wide-eyed kitten man, your jaw unhinged, your trap door open wide, and in my words will pour like a fucking slip and slide. Sex is everywhere, it's everything you see, it's baked to the every baby brain. Sex is everywhere.
Oh my God, the truth of that too, right? Where it's like how, especially like in, I wouldn't say everywhere in the world, right? But you know, in I can only speak for American culture because it's the culture I'm in, and I've been living around in my entire life. Is like that line when she was talking about like how sex is everywhere, right? Where it's been constantly kind of like pushed to us, right? And in so many different ways, through advertisement, through like, you know, media, entertainment, so many different things. It's all been kind of forced on us in so many ways. And when she said about like, you know, if it doesn't exist, somebody will still put it and force it there, where it's like the idea of something as simple as like, that's what she said, that is making it sexual when it wasn't sexual. You know what I mean? If it wasn't sexual, somebody will still put it there. That's what she said. You see what I'm saying? Where it's just so, again, normalized for our society. I said in a previous reaction to one of Sofia's songs where I'm like, I think one of the things I like about her the most is like, you can just tell that no matter how old she ever gets when she creates, she's still going to be talking about these things. This is not like a phase where like all of a sudden her music will be different one day. It's like, nah, she's going to be talking about this shit forever. And that's why I love it, because it's like she gonna be this person, she gonna be this kind of artist. And I love the fact that she, like, I don't want to say dies on this hill, because it's not necessarily dying on a hill, it's just talking about the average woman's experience. It's not even so much of like being like a niche thing either, where it's like this is just saying what most women go through, and like and not even so much in this song, but just in general what the things that she writes about. The general woman's experience. So like I said, I don't know. I like her so much because, like I said, I feel like it's just one of there's artists out here where like they might write a song or two, but it's never gonna be like that's not like their thing that they stand on, or like the thing that they continue to write, or their artistic vision. I think that's why Sofia's like my favorite, is because like her vision is to always like talk about these things, and to always have these kind of like discussions around the art that she creates this way.
Your hands are down your pants, you're settled in for the night. It's time to watch 18-year-olds on a private browser site. But 18 years isn't short enough for you. They have pigtails and Hello Kitty shorts on to undo. They've learned that the clothes you look...
Right there, when she was talking about like, you know, basically everybody going on to like, you know, those whatever websites, you know, insert whatever website, you know, whatever, right? And how there is always on those websites the like 18-year-old like section, right? Where like within obviously like adult film entertainment, like everything is about like finding the audience that hits every single little thing out there, right? But every single website has the 18-year-old section, where it's like, why is it that we're looking at this? I remember when I was a younger lad, when they called it barely legal. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we're just flirting on this again, on this fence of like pedophilia. And like she said, where it's like, okay, so even if we've established that 18 is like all of a sudden where this line kind of changes or whatever in society, we're still looking at them to be looking younger than being barely legal. You know what I mean? Where we're still trying to make them almost illegal. Like we're trying to, like I said, man, it's nasty fucking business, friend. It's not nasty fucking business.
But they've learned that the closer you look like to a kid, the more money you get from a 42-year-old piece of shit. So on screen they'll touch a dick and
See, she's just over here just spelling out the game. They've learned that this is what happens.
kid, the more money you get from a 42-year-old piece of shit. So on screen they'll touch a dick and act so confused because cluelessness is easier to get off to. There's no button to push for their base. I'm not trying to seduce you, fuckface. I'll be out in your lawn, covered in sun. I get away with so much shit cause you bring them on. Oh, you'll praise the virgin, self-absorbent. You think your penis is very important, but if something's dirty after you touch it, the problem is your hands, them shit cut it. It's everywhere, it's everything you see.
She's just again pointing out the hypocrisy of like the misogynistic perspective of all of a sudden like they are unclean now. You know what I mean? Like the praising the virgin, and then all of a sudden they are no longer desirable because they are now dirty.
It's everywhere, it's everything you see is baked into the every baby brain. It's sex is everywhere, and if it's not, then somebody put it there. They'll put it there. Sex
Again, pointing out the hypocrisies about how we'll praise a man slut, but we will burn a whore at the stake. You know what I mean? They'd fuck a pie or a dead body. Oh my god, American Pie or fucking Eddie Gein, baby. Eddie Gein. Fuck. That's what I'm saying, bro. She's different, man. She's different. Like I said, just the way that her brain is wired, where it's just like, it's almost like she like finds these ways to just put it like so like bluntly, where it's like almost undeniable to argue with. You know what I mean? You'd have to be a real incel to try to argue with her. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, I would love to see like a man try to argue with her about some of this shit. Talk about great content. I would fucking love that. Oh boy. Above the neck. Like I was saying earlier, like there's not a single song that she's gonna do that's not gonna be artistic. There's not a single thing that she's gonna ever do that's not gonna make you think about something. Like I said, some of my favorite artists that I've ever cared about are the ones that like made me think about shit. Like with each song that I listen to from them. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what's so great about her is like no matter what it is, like it just makes you think about perspective. And a lot of times, because again, I'll sit here and say that I think that some guys like they think that they have this idea of this perspective, like that they're not part of the problem when they very much still are. You know what I mean? I have found this out throughout my life where I'll say something, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, a woman will point out like, hey, have you ever thought about it like this, right? And you're like, oh shit, I never really thought about that. And like, you know, again, how quickly you can think that like there's been so many things that we as men have been just kind of like, it have been ingrained into our DNA. This is why we live like in the patriarchy. You know what I mean? It's because we don't even realize it like that. You know what I mean? Because everything has been tailored for us this way, where we didn't even realize that. You know what I mean? I remember when one of my friends had a daughter, and, you know, he talked about, like, when it was a boy, like, he was talking about, like, it being, like, growing up to be president. But then when he found out that he had a daughter, he started talking about other things, about what she was going to grow up and be. And I was like, instantaneously, this kid's not even born yet, but your perspective of, if I have a son, they're going to be president. If I have a daughter, they won't be president. You know what I mean? Like, already you're thinking that women aren't president. Women don't become president. You know what I mean? Like, the sad reality of, like, how much that just changed on finding out what the gender of the baby was. You know what I mean? I was like, and those are the little things where I said, I'm like, I think a lot of guys don't even understand that, like, that's so much of the perspective in the brain of, like, these things that have just kind of been ingrained in us that we don't even realize that we say or do. You know what I mean? And until you do something like that and somebody points it out, be like, well, why can't your daughter be president? You know what I mean? Like, most people don't even think about that shit until somebody points it out to them. You know what I mean? No matter how progressive you might think that you might be, you could always probably be a little bit more. And then no matter how much of, like, a, you know, supporting male feminist or whatever that you think that you might be, again, you could always learn more. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know fucking everything, because I'm sure I say shit wrong all the time. You know what I mean? I get called out for shit all the time that I say in these videos. Oh my God, one time I made a comment about her being like the opposite of Taylor Swift. They would have thought that I was pitting women against each other and wanted to start a whole different war against the two of them. And I'm like, it wasn't my intention. It wasn't. Oh my God, I can't believe I said her name again. I gotta stop saying her name in videos. They're gonna come for me, friends. They're gonna come for me. Please don't kill me. Don't kill me. I don't want no smoke. No smoke. Oh, no smoke. Oh my God. Okay. I think that's all I got for this one, friends. I'm not sure what else to say. I think this is fire. I think this is great. Again, you know, everything that she does, like, always leaves me, like, in this perspective of, like, just, like, thinking about, do I treat the women in my life good enough? You know what I mean? Like, every time where it's like, you gotta do more, bro. You gotta do more. They're big. Their lives are so much worse than us. No matter how shitty your own life as a guy is, it's still worse for, like, in a lot of cases, like, the lives that women have had to go through. Just, like, you know, like, percentage wise. You know what I'm saying? Just, like, strictly off percentages. And, like, the fact that, like, oh my God, like I said, we're barely 100 years removed from, like, even like allowing women to vote in America. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, people think that even though we're so progressive today, we're not where we should be. And we're still, like, we've been existing for so long and we're barely made it to this point. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like I said, I can sit here talk all day long. That's just, again, the patriarchy at work. You know, at the end of the day, that's how it was designed. That we'll just continue to keep going this way. And that's what I say. It's funny to watch, like be alive long enough to, like, watch some of the narrative spin that now all of a sudden we're, like, encouraging women to get back in kitchens and shit. You know what I mean? Where it was, they were not getting out doing enough, and now it's like, nah, go back into the houses. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you out here no more in the man's workforce. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad day. It's a sad day. It's a sad day for a lot of reasons. But we're going to continue to come out here and try to provide a little bit of support from at least one guy's perspective out here in the world. So I appreciate you for checking out this video. And I think that's all I got, guys. Be kind to a stranger. Tell somebody that you love them. And if you haven't joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room.